8,000 robotaxis. One city, 12 months. On Thursday, Nevada regulators voted unanimously to let Tesla, Waymo, and Uber put 8,000 driverless cars onto the streets of Las Vegas. Not a pilot, not a test track. Full commercial service, paying passengers across all of Clark County. This is the single largest robotaxi authorization ever granted in the United States, and it happened in one afternoon with almost no national coverage. Here's what was actually approved, who got what, and the one number buried in the transcript that tells you this rollout is going to be much slower than the headline suggests. Let's break down the split, because it is not even close. Tesla walked away with the biggest allocation by far, up to 5,000 vehicles. And Tesla's permit has a clause the others don't. It covers all of Clark County, and it extends statewide, as long as Tesla notifies the commission in advance of any expansion. Waymo got 1,000. Uber also got 1,000, but with a catch we'll come back to. And there's a fourth player already on the board. Amazon's Zoox holds a separate autonomous vehicle network permit for 100 vehicles that predates this vote entirely. Now, here's the part that got almost no attention. Eric Early, the chief engineer on Tesla's Cybercab program, said this out loud in the hearing. Quote, "The 5,000 has always been a ceiling for us. I don't think we'll be in a position by this time next year to deploy 5,000 vehicles. And it's not because of the technology. I think we would be extremely happy and satisfied if we could get ourselves up to 2,500, maybe a bit higher." Read that again. Tesla's own engineer, on the record, says the real number is roughly half the approved number. So when you see the headline 8,000 robotaxis, understand what that figure actually is. It's a legal ceiling, not a forecast. So why Las Vegas? Why does every autonomous vehicle company want this specific city first? 3 reasons. First, the weather. Clark County gets almost no rain and effectively no snow. Sensors stay clean, lane markings stay visible, and the hardest edge cases in autonomous driving mostly disappear. Second, the street grid. Las Vegas is wide, flat, modern, and laid out in a predictable pattern. Nothing like the tangled street network of Boston or San Francisco. Third, and most important, the passengers. 40 million visitors a year who don't own cars, don't know the roads, are constantly traveling between a small number of well-defined destinations and are already used to paying for rides. That is close to a perfect demand profile for a driverless fleet. This vote was not unopposed. The Livery Operators Association, along with local taxi companies, fought these applications hard. Their attorney, Kimberly Maxon Rushton, told the commission, quote, "These applications raise 2 grave concerns. The first was oversaturation, flooding Nevada's commercial transportation industry with thousands of new vehicles overnight. The second was roadway overcrowding, specifically in the Golden Triangle, the stretch between Harry Reid Airport and Las Vegas Boulevard, which is exactly where most autonomous testing has been concentrated." They lost. The vote was unanimous. And underneath the traffic argument is the real one. Either this creates a new category of jobs, maintaining, charging, and cleaning these fleets, or it erases human taxi and gig driving in the city that runs on them. Both stories are being told right now, and nobody knows which one is true yet. Now, watch what Uber is doing, because it's the smartest move in this whole story. Uber got 1,000 vehicles, but Uber doesn't build autonomous cars anymore, so its permit runs through partnerships with Amazon's Zoox and with Hyundai's Motional. Uber isn't betting on its own technology. It's renting everyone else's. And at the same time, Uber has been lobbying for hybrid networks, fleets that mix human drivers with robotaxis. It's positioning itself as the Goldilocks option. Not fully human, not fully driverless. That puts Uber directly at odds with Waymo, which wants pure autonomy. But it's a genuinely clever hedge. If autonomy arrives slower than Tesla and Waymo promise, Uber still has the largest human driver network on Earth. If it arrives fast, Uber has already signed the suppliers. Both outcomes, Uber survives. 3 things to watch over the next 12 months. Number 1, the actual deployment count. Forget the 8,000 figure. Track how many vehicles are genuinely carrying passengers by next summer. If Tesla lands near that 2,500 mark its own engineer named, That's the honest baseline for every city that comes after this one. Number 2, the first serious incident. With this many autonomous vehicles in one metro area, something will go wrong, and how Nevada regulators respond will set the template nationally. A unanimous approval can become a suspension very quickly. Number 3, pricing. Watch what a driverless ride from the airport to the strip actually costs 6 months in. If it undercuts a human driver significantly, the labor question stops being theoretical, and every other city starts moving. Here's the real shift, and it's not the number 8,000. For a decade, autonomous vehicles were a technology story. Could the cars actually drive themselves? That question is quietly closing. This vote was not about whether the technology works. It was about permits, fleet caps, insurance, and which incumbent industry gets disrupted. Las Vegas just became the first American city where driverless cars are a normal, regulated business, competing on price and availability like any taxi company. The engineering argument is ending. The economic one is just getting started. If this was useful, subscribe. I'm covering the deployment numbers as they come in over the next year. And tell me in the comments, would you get into one of these in Vegas tomorrow?